Hey everyone, Nubkeks here and welcome back to the road to Grandmaster. Today things are gonna get Schwimpi. We're with Fanatic Schwimpi in this particular game. It is a new account for him as well, which is kind of interesting. I don't know what the story behind that is. Something to do with the name probably. But yeah, that definitely gives us a pretty big advantage. He cannot play anything but damage, but that's okay. I mean, he's Schwimpi, so it's all good. But yeah, I mean, definitely big advantage for us while he's like ranking up this new account. Won't credit his account for being as good as he is quite yet, so that's really nice. And hey, you guys get to see another pro player in action, which is always a good thing to bring you in the road to Grandmaster. I'll be playing Varian in this game, by the way, who I'm working on my tier list for the next patch at the moment. I'm pretty sure I'm putting Varian as like a tier S warrior. I think he's just insanely strong. He's so good. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing in this particular game. Also to address some of the concerns and stuff, I'm not going to be doing this much, honestly, from now on. I think it's a waste of time, honestly. But to address the concerns that are coming up in the comments in the last couple of videos, which were from the North American account stream. This is the thing with comments, right? I do like this post-game commentary. I get comments saying it's boring, make it like more entertaining. Make it live. I do some live stuff. They go, oh well, it's too angry. I make it fun. They say, oh, it's too silly. Make it boring. And it's just, no matter what I do, people aren't going to be happy. Ultimately, what I want to do is just, I'm a multifaceted person. I like making lots of different types of videos and content. And I'm going to be working a lot with Zola, their streaming stuff, which is going to have a lot of serious content. And yeah, I mean, I like doing a variety of things. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I want to do. People are asking, will you tone down like the screaming and stuff and whatever. That's just the way I am, guys. So for the live stuff, especially the North American stream, that's pretty much the silliest. It's a new account. It's a fresh account. It's going to be fun and silly because, I mean, what else are you going to do except have fun in that? There's no serious commentary to be had. Those two games were the first two games on a brand new North American account, my account, which I never played before in North America. It's like there's nothing serious to be said about that. It's literally just fun, and I enjoy that. So yeah, we'll still be doing the city streams. The road to Grandmaster, I was including some live stream stuff. I'll still be doing that because I'll be doing a lot of live streaming from now on my own channel and on the Zola Esports Academy channel. So there will still be some of that in Road to Grandmaster, but it will obviously be ranked stuff only and carefully cherry-picked. And then will mostly be on Road to Grandmaster post-game commentary like this. So yeah, if you're looking for serious content, this is where you'll get it. If you're not looking for serious content, you want some more fun, entertaining stuff, you can check out the stuff from the VODs. The North American stuff is very lighthearted. We'll be doing some... I'm a pretty lighthearted guy, actually, in the most part, in most cases. So yeah... We'll go with that. My sister likes to compare me to Jake Peralta from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This gives you a sense for what I'm like. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was mostly a scheduling issue, honestly. Is my biggest takeaway from the lashback that was on the North American stuff. It's just a scheduling thing that I haven't had like a serious, just because of how busy I've been and just timings and stuff like that. PTO, everything like that. There hasn't been a serious Road to Grandmaster video in a while. For example, I think if there'd been a serious Road to Grandmaster every day, and then I had the North American stuff come out, wouldn't have been a problem. People would just say, or it would be expressed in a more happy way. People would have a more positive outlet for it. They could come onto these videos and say, I like these videos. They wouldn't be going on to those videos and saying, I hate these videos. But yeah, I mean, not everything on the channel is going to be for you. That's the way it is. Sorry, let's get back to the game. Alright, so here we go. We got the draft. Pretty interesting. I'd say definitely advantage us. The enemy team picked Leoric really early on, which is just bad, honestly. There's nothing much to be said about that. It just sucks as a pick. He doesn't really bring anything as an early pick in the draft. You can late pick him to counter pick. He's worth picking up maybe early on a map where he's really good, like Tomb of the Spider Queen. But on Battlefield of Eternity, nah, it's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great. They do have Vala, but she only has a solo support. She's got triple frontline actually protecting her, which is okay. Anyway, Schwimpi did grab the Greymane. And yeah, we're kind of good to go. I also thought, by the way, in terms of that draft, that Tychus ban was a bad recommendation. The enemy team just picked Vala, and then Schwimpi was kind of left a little bit strapped for heroes. But, you know, the Grey main obviously works out pretty well. And yeah, going into this game, again, lighthearted stuff. I was kind of going, guys, vote for my heroic choice. You know, Taunt Varian is obviously the best. But I was like, you know what? We've got a Tyrael, we've got a Ragnaros. I could totally go for like a Colossus Smash here. That could be a bit of a laugh. That could be fun. Why the hell not? But anyway, they voted for, well, Schwimpi voted for Taunt, so we'll go for Taunt. And it is, to be fair, the best one. So maybe the most relevant for you guys in terms of playstyle and stuff. I've had, I think I did have a video on the channel fairly recently, but I mean, it's such an up-and-coming hero that I think there's no reason not to do it. I mean, looking at the HGC Korea, he's like picked or banned nearly every game. That's become kind of the case. I feel I'm recording this Saturday morning, I think. I'm really confused at the moment. I'm so tired. But yeah, it's like he's becoming more and more the, like even more so this week in EU as well. Maybe North America, I don't know, I don't really watch it. But yeah, I mean, Varian is a pretty big deal as a tank at the moment. So, hey, no harm in doing another one. Anyway, right at the start there, we saw the enemy team was up top, so we're just going to push in this bottom structure and just get these towers down. Obviously, keeping an eye on those rotations on the mini-map. We know they're on the way. Gonna throw this out. Actually spot that it's an Alarak on his own, so we're just going to dive on him and start hitting him. And we burst him down very quickly, and he is dead without too much trouble, honestly. Like, we saw the Vala was rotating away late. So was the rest of the team, and with just a Leoric there and no health. Just a bad rotation from the Alarak, honestly. He shouldn't have been gone that way. We just dive on him and explode him. That's something you're going to note in this game, especially from Schwimpi. Like, he's just a really, really great player like this. He's like bang on. Whenever like there's an engagement opportunity, you know, he is there like the millisecond it's ready to be acted upon, you know? He's never late. He'll always be there. He'll always follow up when it's the correct thing to do. Or nearly always, you know. I still make mistakes. But yeah, it's definitely, you'll notice that very much so in the gameplay, I think. Very, very much so. It's that he's on point. I mean, you can get as much probably watching Schwimpi in this video as you could from watching whatever I'm doing. Maybe even more so, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to come over and start working on some Immortal. I'm going to just bully off this Alarak a little bit, using my level 1 talent to get a lot of damage down on him. I'm going to start backing off as the enemy team rotates in. Of course, that's given our team plenty of free time to work on the Immortal. I'm not too worried about taking damage. Rhaegar can throw a heal my way, or I can go tap a well. I'm actually going to go grab a well while the Immortals swap over. And then we're going to have to go in and actually probably contest as the enemy team is winning the race just that little bit. So I'm on the way in. We're going to kind of contest this one. And we'll take from there. We do have a nice XP lead so far as well. Going to come in here, stun the Alarak, burst him down. That's a dead Alarak. He's the easiest target to kill. So that's the one we're going to focus on. I'll start working on Artanis as well. He does just about finish it off. But the price of that is 3 kills for us, which is not too shabby. And I've got a fairly important rotation here, which is that I haven't been solo laning so far this game because Ragnaros is better. However, why are we sending Ragnaros down bottom? Why am I taking over the solo lane here? It's because, of course, Ragnaros is Molten Core, and that will give a really good defense to the Immortal. I'm perfectly capable of holding a solo lane on Varian until then, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to redistribute. Obviously, once the Immortal phase is over then, the ideal thing would be to get, you know, Ragnaros a bit more focused on the soloing and get me back with the team. But work it out as we go. But yeah, that's an important little trick here. Be the same on any map where you still have Molten Core available and you've got a pushing objective would be to do, you know, something along these lines. Meantime, I notice that pretty much the whole enemy team is down there, so I'm just going to push this in as aggressively as I can and just trust my teammates will be okay. And that we're just going to continue building this XP lead, that they won't like commit to anything crazy and get themselves killed, and we should be fine. So again, just looking at this mini-map, keeping an eye on things. There's Vala. And just watch the amount of damage that we can put out on Vala as a Varian. We almost kill Vala from pretty much full life. And that's us without taunt. That's just with our basic abilities. So to cover the talents I've actually picked so far, because that's fairly important, I've picked up Overpower at level 1. This, whenever we parry, so our parry, obviously our W, we can activate that. Whenever we parry a hero's basic attack, it refreshes the cooldown of Heroic Strike, which by default is an 18-second cooldown. And then the next one will do 25% more damage. At level 4 then, I picked up Warbringer. Our charge is now a 1-second stun instead of a slow. and also reduce the cooldown by 6 seconds. And hitting level 7 now, going to grab Live by the Sword, which is going to make our parry last 40% longer. And if we block 2 hero basic attacks with a single parry, the cooldown will be reduced by 2 seconds. So we can potentially, within a single parry, it's now lasting 40% longer. Every time we get hit by a basic attack, it refreshes the cooldown of our overpower, which is fantastic. So we can get off, our heroic strikes. We can get off multiple heroic strikes. They're going to do more damage. And then we're going to reduce the cooldown of parry as well. And then when we grab taunt at level 10, we can force a target to attack us for 1.25 seconds. We can basically guarantee that we'll get hit by at least one basic attack. So we're going to do tons of damage, basically. You can do an absolute metric ton of damage. And it's really one of the big things, actually, with Varian right now is, that's why the taunt build is so strong. It's like you get 50% more HP. You still do ridiculous amounts of damage, and you've got a ridiculous amount of single target lockdown. I mean, in comparison to Colossus Smash, it's just better because you got 50% more HP. The basic attack damage increase from Colossus Smash is pretty irrelevant compared to the heroic strike damage you're getting with this build. And just the tankiness is so good, and the lockdown is just a bit better than the vulnerability, unfortunately. Or fortunately, whatever way you look at it. But yeah, I mean, Varian, he's pretty crazy. You can see we're doing plenty of damage here, continuing to chase the enemy team. Go in for another stun. Gonna start backing off now. Do a little bit more damage. Nice flip on Artanis does lock me down. I believe he does have the slow on level 7. So we're stuck in here. We're doing as much damage as we can. Burn that Alarak down. Now Schwimpi and Sovereign there. The Ragnaros and the Greymane. They've been working on the Immortal. So although I do die, the teammates made plenty of good use of that time. And we pick up a nicely shielded Immortal. Now, good rotation by the enemy team. But Schwimpi doesn't just barely make it out. Pretty lucky. And Max is there and the Tyrael does make it out as well. Also, fairly lucky on those escapes, to be fair. But it was just smart use of the rotations. And yeah. It's just, you use what your teammates are doing. You use the space that's created. And, the death was hashtag worth in the end, I guess. Hashtag worth. We got a nicely shielded Immortal. It's not going to do too much, but it should get this fort down. Going to put some pressure on here. Going to dodge the prism this time, the phase prism, which is fired off fairly slowly. Lock down Leoric inside the stun. He takes a lot of damage, and this is a very overextended Alarak. He should be fairly easy to kill. We do get clipped by the silence, but we stun him, we taunt him up, get the overpower proc, and burn him down very, very quickly. It's not a problem at all. I'm going to lurk with our team. We are up 2 levels at this stage, which is a huge deal. And we should be able to pressure down this fort pretty much no problem. Unfortunately, taunt there was still on a 2-second cooldown. If it wasn't, that was a dead Leoric once again. A little bit more XP for us, but still no harm in that at all. And we're going to be fine moving forwards. Worth noting, actually, I'm going to be bringing this video out before the PTR changes for Varian go live, which is they're swapping his level 13 and 16 talent tiers. I've been really racking my brains to try to work out if it's a nerf or a buff. Or just kind of neutral. Oh, by the way, if you guys caught that, it was a nice attempt by the Alarak. Very smart to try flip Rhaegar over the wall. Almost worked very well. Didn't in the end, but it was a good idea. But yeah, I don't know. The big question for whether it's I don't think it's a significant change either way in terms of its power levels. The big difference is how much you actually use. That's, by the way, right there an example of someone goes out of position and my teammates perfectly capitalize on the Varian lockdown. And that's why Varian is so strong. Point and click lockdown, you can't juke it, you can't miss the skill shot, it lands every time. There it is on Leoric once again. It's a really long lockdown. The only really recourse is a cleanse. It's just so good, and it just sets up your teammates for so much. It's a really good combo as well with Ragnaros at the moment, because it just means that Sulfurous Smash is guaranteed to land. That was a good juke and a good cleanse actually overlapping on that Tyrael as well to get out of the phase prism there, which is very nice to see. My teammates are heartstoning, so I'm just going to chill out at my Immortal. Don't really want to do anything much, just scout things out, chill out. One thing I noticed actually in this game, and you'll notice as well, is that Schwimpi has been pinging actually quite a lot. So that was something I walked away going, right, I should actually be doing that more in my own games. Is just throwing out a few pings, like defense pings or assist pings, that sort of thing, just to direct the team about more so. This can clearly have a pretty large impact. We could have potentially stunned Artanis into the Immortal Stone, but it's not a big deal. Now the team is moving in, and we can start posturing up. Ragnaros isn't here yet, so we're still being pretty careful. Gonna get a bit of a damage output there on the what's his face. Good thing by Rhaegar. Artanis, we got him down most of his life. Good Ancestral to follow up. We take a good chunk of damage, but we're still alive. Gonna mount up. Teammates are doing well. We've got a talent tier advantage. Don't even need the taunt there on on Malfurion. And we're just going to turn around and focus on the Immortal because, you know, Schwimpi had that locked down. And that was a full team wipe for nothing. Again, right there, just forcing the advantage. Like, our team is fighting really well. We've got a really good team comp. We're up a talent tier. It's like someone goes out of position, you go in and you make the fight happen. I almost died. I might have died. But Rhaegar played it well and kept me alive. If, you know, it hadn't worked out for whatever reason and I had died, we still would have won the team fight quite dominantly. So yeah, it's about, you know, knowing when you're ahead, knowing when you can take the fight. And certainly, at least with Varian, it's like, so your pick potential is just insane. So that really makes things quite easy in terms of people being out of position. But in terms of just engaging team fights in general, know when you're ahead and go in when you are. When you can force a fight that you ought to win, that's what you do. And it can really help out. Grab the Banner of Ironforge at level 13 in this particular game. And to finish, by the way, that thought on the banners and the level 13 and 16 flip, it's like, how much use do you get out of the banners as opposed to like a lot of bonus damage on your stun or shredding shields or preventing healing between level 13 and 16. I don't know that you get that much out of the banners. They're more like team fight based than not, and we were just staying fairly safe here. Throw the banner down just to cover us as we push in onto this keep. Nice combo. Once again, the Alarak, he's a bit out of position and we're able to burn him down. Leoric does go unstoppable. That's okay. He's almost dead. In fact, he's not almost dead, he is dead. And we're pushing on to keep. This should be keep pretty much for sure. Level 15 to level 11 at this stage. We're just flanking around here to ensure we can lock everyone down. Lock down Artanis. Use the combo once again to blow him up. But yeah, I mean, as you saw, I think against the Vala earlier in the game was a really good example. I think that illustrated really well just how much damage Varian does. It's kind of crazy. He does plenty of burst damage himself with this build. The lockdown is immense. He's very tanky. And then, yeah, I mean, as of the patch when it goes live from level 16 as well, you bring the banners, which are a big team fight thing. Buff, I think it's going to be great. It makes sense as well. You know, you have more team fights in the late game, so you get the banners a bit later in the game. It makes sense that they flip the talent tiers. I like the change a lot. And like I said, I don't think it's a big issue. Like, there's plenty of situations between level 13 and 16 where actually having your previously 16 talent tier earlier would be better. I mean, in terms of hero damage, you can see we did almost as much as Ragnaros. And Tyrael did a good chunk as well, so well played by him. He didn't even take opposing will. He just went for Burning Rage, which is kind of funny. And we got a new skin variation for Varian, which is fantastic. Very happy about it. I actually like that one as well. Very happy about that. And yeah, I'm expecting myself to be playing against, or even banning Varian a lot more going forwards in the Hero League. I've played a few games on him now in the last few weeks, and I've just been super impressed with Tank Varian. I think it's really, really good. You know, it's been buffed from when it first came out. The overpower buff is a really nice one. There might have been a couple of other buffs. So yeah, the attack speed was increased and stuff like that. And then, yeah, with the meta shifting as well. Like, when Varian first like at the start of this season, I really didn't like Varian as a tank because it was single target lockdown in an AoE Bloodlust Hyperion Earthquake meta where it was like you just could not protect your team at all, and it wasn't very good. Nowadays though, it's really freaking good. It's really freaking good. It's insanely strong. Varian he's insane. He's so good. He's so good. He's so good. Just play Varian, you're gonna be happy. But yeah, to round out the build, again, just go over the build actually at the very end, and there should be an overlay here on the stream, on the video as well. Sorry, streaming mode. Can't get out of it. Overpower at level 1, Warbringer at level 4, and Live by the Sword at level 7. You are free to tweak these up a bit as you wish, but I think that those 3 talents in particular are the best 1 to 7 combination. And then, of course, Taunt at level 10. Oh, sorry, it's 60% max health increase. It's even better than I thought. Yeah, I mean, Taunt is just Taunt. Taunt is this is the best. It's so much better than the other 2 heroics. It just is. Just Taunt every time. Level 13. On the version of the game I have at the moment right here, Banner of Ironforge. I actually like all of the banners. I think they're all really good. My preference personally is Stormwind. I love the move speed. I think it's great. I'll pick up the Banner of Ironforge if there's going to be kind of more more engaged fights, if it's gonna, it's basically, you have to just decide, is like, do we want the move speed to like get on top of someone and blow them up and play more aggressively? Do we want Banner of Ironforge if there'd be these longer fights and our team's going to be taking lots of damage as well? Then Banner of Dalaran, if you got some super blow up type combo, that can work too. I trend towards, you know, Banner of Ironforge is like your default pick. Then I've got personal preference for Stormwind. Dalaran, if it stands out as being really good. Now, that would be your level 16 talent tier as of like Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever. The current 16 talent tier, which will be 13. Juggernaut is your default, which is charge dealing bonus damage to heroes equal to 6% of their max health. It's just extra blow up, and you're charging quite a lot as tank Varian. So yeah, that's your default one. It just adds nice damage, nice pick potential. It's really good. Mortal Strike is also a good option. So when you hit someone with Heroic Strike, it's 40% reduced healing for 4 seconds. This can be a good option if they've got burst healing to counteract your blow up, your pick potential. Again, you're going to be getting a lot of Heroic Strikes with this build because of your level 1 talent. You're going to get an awful lot of Heroic Strikes. So this is a really, really good talent as well. So yeah, if they've got any like healing that you want to counteract, this can be a solid one. So for example, I probably wouldn't bother against like Karazim. I probably wouldn't bother against Lucio at all. Well, yeah, definitely wouldn't bother against Lucio. Wouldn't bother against Brightwing, for example. But, you know, against a Rhaegar with Ancestral, yeah, I'd probably look into taking Mortal Strike. Against Lieutenant Morales, yeah, I'd probably pick it up then as well. Then there's also Shattering Throw, which is, you know, you can activate and do tons of damage, chuns, words are hard, of damage to shields. And then your basic attacks do a lot more bonus damage to shields as well. This is obviously really good against heroes with shields. So Tassadar stands out as a great one. It's good against Artanis. It can be okay against Zarya, but it's a bit hit and miss because obviously damaging the shields gives her energy. But yeah, they're the big one. Like Tassadar is the big one. Artanis is a decent one too. Yeah, it's a good option overall. It's a good, and then, you know, whatever. If there's other heroes with shields, then yeah, it can be good too. But yeah, they're good talent choices, and I like that they brought the tier up earlier. And you can definitely use Varian as like a bit of a counter to heroes with shields, things like that. Then level 20, Vigilance can be very good, reducing the cooldown of Taunt, especially against a hero like Zarya or Tracer or Tychus, heroes with very fast attack speed. Tassadar again, that can be a really good option. Your standard option, I feel, would be Glory to the Alliance, which basically your allied heroes within your banner radius increases the healing they receive and their health regen by 50%, which is just so good. Just 50% more healing. That's awesome. That's a huge buff. So strong. And it also reduces the cooldown of the banners by 20 seconds. That's also so strong. You could, you know, you can use the banners more frequently. You could potentially get 2 off in a late game team fight. It's a pretty big deal. Demoralizing Shout, I've seen some people take it. I'd not use it myself, but from my understanding, it's a really short radius, so it's kind of crappy. And honestly, just Glory to the Alliance is just better. So yeah, I take Vigilance if you can guarantee it's going to work well, if they've got a lot of basic attacks, and you get value. But generally speaking, Glory to the Alliance. And guys, that is the tank Varian build. Like I said, I'm being moving him up almost definitely to tier S in my tier list. I think he's insanely strong. I think probably by the time this video is coming out, you guys are becoming more and more aware of that. But yeah, I think it's to do with, you know, the buffs they've given him, the shifting meta, and I'm not expecting the 13 and 16 talent tier swaps to really impact him too much. I think in some circumstances it's actually going to be better and more beneficial. And I mean, it's only that between level 13 and 16 that actually makes a difference. And I think, you know, there's going to be a lot of situations where you get more use out of the Juggernaut, the damage, or, you know, stuff like that. There's not the team fights where the banners matter too much, as much. It depends on the maps a little bit, I suppose. But yeah, he's a great hero. Synergizes awesomely with basically anyone at this stage. He's just awesome. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did like it. And yeah, again, like, if you like this type of content, then giving support to this type of content is pretty much the best thing you can do. Like I said at the start, I want to make the types of content I want to make. I have fun making the different kinds. I will always probably do like very serious and analytical stuff like this because I enjoy that a lot. But it's not the only thing I want to do. And just realistically with streaming, you know, that's just the way it's gonna be. I just, you know, I won't have as much time to grind out the games because it takes a long time to, you know, find a good Hero League game where you get a good representation of a hero. You know, like Varian is not too hard to get because he's so good, but like there's plenty of other heroes where it's, you know, it's hard to find a good spot to draft them in Hero League game, and then you get a good game quality as well. It takes a long time to do all that sort of stuff, and with the streaming and everything I'm doing, all the extra stuff, and then I want to make also guides and things like that as well, and top tip videos, all that sort of stuff. It's just so much work that just feasibly, the Road to Grandmaster, it's not going to be an everyday series, but I'm going to try to have it out, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. We'll see. I'm not sure exactly. We'll see how it goes going forwards, but yeah, support the types of series you want. If you don't like them all, that's fine. It sucks. Preferably, I'd love if you liked all the series, but that's not the way it's going to be. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We can talk in the comments a bit if you like, or we can chat on stream as well. I'm going to be streaming way more, so yeah, stay tuned for all that sort of stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.